Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rumble and Roar podcast. I'm your host, Lenoria. And guys, I have a dear friend. We go back a long ways. I'm so excited, but I'm always excited when I have a guest on my show. This is Hannah. I'm going to let you introduce yours, what you do in your background.
Okay, so my name is Latonia Hannah. I am an educator. This is just completed my 28th year as a professional educator. I have 8 years classroom teaching experience and the rest as a school guidance counselor.
Wow, 28 years.
Yeah.
We're here because it's 28 years for me for daycare. Yes,
Wow.
well, it's not yet, but on August 15th.
Okay.
In 2 more months, it'll be
Okay.
28 years. And those years, when I tell you, they flew by, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Real fast.
You learn a lot, but I've watched you just climb the ladder, Hannah. I mean, when I first met you, you were what was it?
I was a second grade teacher.
Okay, see?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're a counselor.
Yep.
So you've seen it. Okay, what made you pursue this work, especially in school?
Basically always wanting to just give back to the community. Like I've always loved working with children, even as a child myself.
And it
as a
shows.
teenager. Of course, I babysat for everybody in my family. I was a summer camp counselor. All of the things like that.
So it's already in you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love working with children.
Okay. Do you love being a counselor?
I love being a school counselor.
Oh.
Absolutely. It's a passion of mine. I love being a classroom teacher, but being a classroom teacher, you're responsible for reading, writing,
The difference.
social studies.
Okay.
You're responsible for grades
Uh-huh.
and things of that nature. And while that is absolutely important,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you will encounter students and families who have so much going on in their life that reading, writing, math, science, social studies is not a priority. And that's what tugged on my heartstrings, wanting to be able to be more for those children who couldn't focus on what they were supposed to come to school to focus on because of all of the things that life was throwing at them as children or throwing at their families, throwing at the parents, and just wanting to affect change in a different manner on a broader scale.
So that's why you became a counselor.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is so good.
Yeah.
That is really good. This is not any questions here. I'm asking this because I just want to know, as a counselor, when you hear the kids come to you and they just need help, or you see them needing help.
Mm-hmm.
I know it breaks your heart. How do you go about getting them help other than, I know you're going to do what you do, but do you go a little further? How do you say, I'm trying to say the right things. If I don't, Hannah, tell me.
No, you're fine. I feel like, first and foremost, being a devoted mother and being a devoted educator go hand in hand because you're working with children.
Absolutely.
And as a mother, I would want someone to care for my children in my absence in whatever capacity that they're in, whether it's a daycare provider, a school teacher, a nurse in a hospital, wherever they are. You would hope that someone is looking out for your children and taking care of them the same way you would your own. So with that being said, when it comes to children, I feel like, you got to put your cape on, whether they're yours or someone else's. So if someone comes to me...
I feel that same way.
Yeah, if someone comes to me in a school setting, a parent, a student, and they have a need, I'm ready to put my cape on. Can I save the entire world? No. But am I going to try? Absolutely.
Have you ever had a child that came to you and you saw that they were just in a bad way and you had to talk with the parent, or you had to, what was, maybe I'm trying to ask, what is one of the worst things that you had to do or deal with? You don't have to call no names or anything like that. Of course, we're not doing that, but, and even if you don't want to tell the story, it's okay. But I'm sure that you have come into, had to do that once or twice, right?
Well, I mean, not even being specific about anything, but if you can think about the worst thing that any average adult goes through, a child does as well.
Mm.
So, I mean, whether it be grief, homelessness, being hungry,
Mhm.
any of those things. Like, if your family is dealing with it, you're dealing with it. But how is the child coping? That's the problem. So, you may see some signs at schools. Teachers might refer students to me that they might have a concern about, not necessarily knowing
See,
anything.
you're jumping the gun because
But-
I was going to ask you, how
Yeah.
can you, do you see the signs? You
Yeah.
already, okay.
Sometimes you can look at a child and just, see that they need a little bit more something. Building relationships. Hey, is everything okay? You want to talk to me? You want to come to my office? Just getting to know them. Just
Yes.
showing them that someone's there,
Making them
someone
feel
cares. Making
loved.
them feel seen, valued, and heard.
Safe.
Making them feel loved. Like, sometimes these kids come to school with so much going on in their life. Like, again, they're not here for the academics. They are here for someone to love on them. And once they feel and
Oh my
see that
gosh.
somebody loves them, then
Hannah,
that's
I just got chills. You said a mouthful when you said that.
Yeah.
You said a mouthful. Oh, yeah.
Once they know that you love them, then the learning can take place.
I've had a couple of people that I've talked to. They were educators and just different walks of life. But when I tell you, they said that when they work with kids, they said, "You're not going to believe one of my children came and told me that we live in a hotel. We live such and such." The kids will tell it.
Kids talk.
Yes,
Mhm.
and it's like your heart just falls.
Mhm.
And then you can see why certain things or why they're doing certain things.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know how people would say, "I would love to do what you do," or I don't know. I am so emotional about stuff. I could not have your job.
Yeah.
I'll be in there crying every day when it has to do with children.
Yeah, it's a heavy load.
It is?
It's mentally, yes, and even spiritually. Because what I can't fix, I'm going to take it in prayer.
Oh, of course.
So,
Of course. Actually, take it there 1st. That way it'll help you.
yeah.
Okay. When you hear the word, the phrase, silent struggle, what comes to your mind?
Silent struggles, things that people are dealing with that they don't want to talk about, that they can't talk about, that they don't feel comfortable talking about, that they don't know how to talk about.
That is absolutely what I was going to say, because I'm not a counselor. But when I read this, I had to think about it myself, and it's self-explanatory. It is what it is. Silent struggles.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want to tell nobody about the struggles. But what comes to mind for me is just what you said. Everything you just, I hate to keep saying just what you said, but it is. It's what you said, and it's so bad because it's so. I was thinking about, and I still am doing a book on silence. It's going to be a silent yell, because you're yelling. Yes, and it's a lot of people today, guys, they're screaming with no sound. They need someone to just hear them, or even just see them, or something, and they're dealing with stuff on the inside by themselves, and then they just go off to themselves. It's so much stuff going on, Hannah.
Life is a lot,
but it's even more now.
Yes, this generation, they're dealing with stuff that we didn't have to deal with.
Didn't even think about.
Exposure to. We didn't know about.
Didn't even think about.
Right.
And I should not say this, but hey, I'm gonna bring it back, guys. Y'all know how sometimes I go to the left and I have to bring it back, but now we got to think about, I hope they don't retaliate. Didn't Trump bomb somebody yesterday? We got to think about that. That has nothing to do with this podcast, guys, but we are talking about things that, are in your mind and what you have to think about, and silent screams and somebody that is really deep into worry all the time. That's just another worry, because we might be somewhere and they might put a bomb over here on us. But I just had to say that. I just had to say it. But that silent scream, I don't know. I know you're not a mental health person, but I don't know, how can we help someone that you can look at them, because you can sometimes kind of look at somebody and just tell that something's going on with them.
They need somebody.
Yeah, or something.
Them, see them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't reach out. Like, they need you to be that vehicle to say, "Hey, are you good?"
Yeah, they want you to say it, but they don't know how to.
Right.
That's good.
Right. And then too, sometimes, working in a school setting, parents don't want people in their business. And I'll be, the first to admit that as a parent myself, I have been that way as well. Like, we were raised like,
what's at home, yeah. Exactly.
We're talking about what's going on.
Yes.
But, lo and behold,
that is so true.
Kids are going to talk, and
especially the younger ones.
Yeah,
yes.
the younger ones will ramble.
Yeah.
But the older ones, they're going to talk to someone that they confide in, because they know that this person can possibly help me. Mm-hmm. So, they know who they can and can't talk to, or, who they feel comfortable, or who they trust talking to.
Okay, why do you think mental health has such a taboo topic in the Black communities?
Okay, so I am not a mental health therapist.
Right, I know.
I'm a school counselor. Mm-hmm. My background is education, and curriculum instruction. Mm-hmm. But personally, I just think it's a taboo thing in our community, because it just wasn't the norm for so many generations. We just, again,
hush.
Kept it on the inside. Mm-hmm. Families kept things within families.
Yes.
Things weren't supposed to leave your household. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's taboo. I feel like also, now that I am a school counselor, I have been a school counselor for some years now.
Mm-hmm. A lot of years.
And helping people bridge that gap to mental health resources, it should be as simple as, like, I need to go to the doctor because I got this pain in my chest that hasn't gone away in forever. Like, I need to talk to somebody because I can't shake this, whatever I'm dealing with mentally, or, I just need someone to listen, not even necessarily talk back to me or give me advice. Sometimes people just want somebody to listen.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot. I think that's more so than none. Yeah. They want you to listen. Mm-hmm. They need someone to talk to.
Right. And people don't feel comfortable going to family and friends about everything. Yeah. So there's a lot of judgment within families and friends, and sometimes you need a neutral third party.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. That was really good. Okay. How does how does under-addressed trauma shows up in Black families, especially generational trauma? Let me see if I can give
deep.
I know, isn't it? This is very deep. How does
it shows up by, continuing to go on.
Yes, and everything that you do
with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycle, and it's passed down from generation to generation. And
it needs to be broke, especially when it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But how do they break it? How do they break it? Because I'm gonna be honest, I have generational is it trauma, or is it, I don't even know what the title is, but there are some things that happen years ago, normal stuff that was happening to everybody probably in their families, but it's like, no, that's all they knew, and they did what they knew, but it was ignorance, and it wasn't good,
Right.
And I want to change it, and when you try to change it, the other family members, oh, you think you better, oh, you think this and think that, but I don't care about that, because I'm gonna still do me, and I'm gonna do me. But that generational stuff, girl, some of them, so they just won't even let you. I don't even know how to say it. They won't let you be who you
out of it.
They pull your ass, they try, and that's where you have to let all of them go, and then you feel lonely.
Yeah.
Without, because that's where I am. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, I can't even deal with a lot of family members because y'all, I don't even know who you are. You refuse to try to grow.
Yeah.
You just stuck.
And I think it's like family and friends, in general. It's just like you just need to stick with the people who bring you peace.
Yes.
That's it.
I heard that. Mm-hmm. I either read that or heard that not long ago. Mm-hmm. And that's so true.
Yeah. It's easy, it's not difficult. it's peaceful. It's good energy. It's just positive vibes. Like,
the older you get, Hannah, the older you get.
That's all I want.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you got me uncomfortable a little bit, understand once you leave my face, you won't do it again because I'm not gonna have you around anymore.
Exit stage left.
To the left. To the left, Beyonce. To the left.
Exit stage left.
Yes. Okay. Do you see the difference in black boys versus black girls expressing mental or emotional struggles? Do you see a difference?
Well, I will say girls talk more freely, but maybe because I'm a female counselor and, you know, they feel more comfortable talking. I think boys are kind of raised to be strong and, you know, you can figure it out or you got this.
And don't cry.
You don't need anybody,
Craziness.
Don't cry.
Yes.
Be tough. So boys don't always, you know, come and just lay it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to, like, form a relationship again and build a bond and you know, get them to trust you for them to open up.
Yes. Yes, boys are quiet. You have to go to them and then pull it out and it's like, and then they still don't want to tell much.
But I even think like men, black men. So black men
she said it
a lot in the ones that I know.
The ones that I know too. That's why I said, she about to tell it. Yes,
I
and it's so
like,
true.
You know, black men hold a lot in because of that, you know, be strong, be tough. You know, you gotta have, you know, carry the world on, you know, spin it on your hand. But
with
who
that,
do they talk to when they need? Like, because we all go through stuff. Life is a lot for everybody. So who do you talk to? Who is your person? Like,
Hannah, what I was about to say is they won't talk to people, okay? And I get it. However, if you got a significant other and you have someone who loves you and you have someone you can open up to that's not trying to judge you, they're trying to help you. And you've been with them a while and they're telling you, look, but I see this. They should say or even know that, wait a minute, at some point, I know she's saying this is true what she's saying. Let me try to work on it. But they still don't.
They don't.
They're just stuck. What does,
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I don't know a lot of men that are just like, you know, emotional in that sense where they're vulnerable enough to say like, this is what's stressing me. Like they're just going to try to figure it out. You know, and I even say I have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys, and 3 are adults. My oldest, she's 31, female. Then I have a 29-year-old son, a 23-year-old son, and then a 17-year-old daughter.
Girl,
but with my children, with my children, like being out on their own and adults, and you know, one son is in San Diego, one is in Detroit. Like, I don't know what's going on unless they tell
you.
You know, and even if you, hey, you know, checking in, you okay? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's
good. Well, they're
good.
not going to want me to worry because I'm all the way here in Georgia. So, like, I mean, she can't get to me, like, you know, immediately. But, and then again, I'm a mom, so they're not going to want me to worry. But I know they deal with things that they don't share with me. And all I can do is
so what makes them do that?
Don't prayer.
Exactly.
You know,
we have to do that.
You know, their mind, their bodies, their spirit, their life, everything, where they don't share with me.
Why don't they think that maybe she can just tell me something? I know mom can't get here, or why don't they just talk about it?
I don't think they want you to worry. And I think it's that stigma of being a man. Like,
could I ask you?
Figure it out. I got it. Yes.
Could I ask a guy about that? Why won't you guys say it again?
Let us in.
Let us in. Why won't you talk to someone? Y'all hold stuff in and you just won't be honest. What is that? You guys, we have a guest here too, but they're not on camera, but it's a male point of view. And we're sitting here just talking about male like there's not one here. We just want to know, we just have a question. What is it about you guys just not wanting to share and talk to anyone for that matter, your significant other, your mom, anyone.
Sometimes even friends, like who's your outlet? When
There you go.
need
That's a
something?
good one. Yeah.
For a lot of men, they don't have one because, as soon as you get to talking about how you feel, what's keeping you down over a long period of time, anything to that nature, you're looked at as soft. You're looked at as not trying to just get through it. You know what I mean? Like you said, we're looked at as just being able to handle a lot of stuff, and we can. It's not like it's a big deal. But the things that are a big deal, we sit in the back of our head because we don't want to sit there and look like, hey, we can't handle life. You know what I mean? And I don't really know exactly how to express that, but yeah, we don't.
Right, but how would y'all ever get it out? How would you ever get it out if
Most
you?
men don't. We just keep it there.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's sad.
this is
Bad.
your mom, so like, do you tell her everything?
No, of course not.
Right. And what is the reason why though?
I think anybody would think the same things like judgment. You know what I mean?
Judgment.
Just even though, of course, your mom isn't gonna judge you and unlove you for it. You know what I mean, quote unquote. But it's like you still don't want them to look at you as this type of person, or you've done this. You know what I mean? And it's like, or you said this, or you know what I mean. They've taught you to not do certain things that you are like, no, I don't want this. My mother knowing I've done. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a level of disappointing,
Yeah, that makes sense.
disappointing them. You know what I mean? Something like that. So.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, it does. It does. Okay.
I'm sorry, we got off topic.
I know. Well, it's okay. We need
That's
to
a whole
know.
other discussion for another day, right?
Exactly. I needed that though. Why do you think there's still so much stigma around seeking therapy or counseling in our community? And it is a lot of stigma because they just will not. This is girls and guys. I'm asking you this question, but I want to answer it too. Not answer it. I just want to comment. I know a lot of people who need therapy. They need to go talk to someone. And you can tell them until you're purple, to your black, white, orange, and they will not go get it. And I don't understand why. I believe that there are things that were going on throughout my seasoned years of living where I needed therapy. And I will run in there because I want to hear what you have to say. But a lot of people feel different about that. What is your opinion on that?
I just think that people are scared. I think
Scared of what?
It's a vulnerability, part to it. Even with it's a judgment thing, and even though it's a person that you don't know per se, like it takes time to open up to somebody.
I guess I'm different, Hannah.
Okay.
I guess I am straight different because I don't care if I'm paying you and you're supposed to listen to me. I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm not going to lie to you because if I'm there for a reason, I need you to help me. So if I lie to you, you can't help me because you're trying to help a lie.
That is true. But then too, I think if a person has never been to therapy or experienced anything like that, they don't really know what to expect. So just, the lack of knowledge in that sense right there could keep someone from going. Like, well, I've
It's
heard
so
people
hard for
say,
me to understand, Hannah.
what can they tell me? They don't know me, or so.
He just said.
I was about to say, I would like to chime in on that. I feel like a lot of people don't want to go or don't think it will help them because they feel like a lot of times people are working from out of the textbook, you know what I mean? They learn, some people actually care and actually want to fix people, and then some people are trying to get paid. They liked it at a point and they were good at it, so they're like, let me go and read this textbook, and then maybe this textbook can fix people. That's not usually gonna happen. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's mindset, the way they think is
So
different.
what do you feel that they need to have walked the walk to be able to help you, or what is it that
Either walk the walk, either you've had your own experience, or you care deeply about people so much to the point where it's like you're almost an empath. You can feel them.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's and a lot of people feel like there's not many. It's not the percentage of those type of people in the counseling and therapist, section. You want to say it's not many. It's not many people that actually are one of those two types. You know what I mean?
that really care and that really wants? That's how you feel.
Right. So most people wouldn't. I feel wouldn't want to go and pay and they might not stumble upon one of those people. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I gotta say this. I could not make this up, God. Guys, this is absolutely the truth. I've been married 31 years. And you ain't lying, girl, because it's work. It's work. Yes, Lord. But around the 5th or the 7th year, I'm not sure, we had to go to a counselor, marriage counselor. And my husband was in there and he didn't want to go. Of course, what man? And see, I'm going to bring it back, guys. I just have to tell the story. Look, I'm going to the left, but you know how we bring it back. Or going to the right or whatever. But when I tell you, we got in there, Hannah, and he is right, because I did what he probably would have done. I'm going to try to make this story short, but the guy was asking us, what do we do, to split a paper down, of course, and write on the good things, the bad things, the stuff that they do. And my husband wrote, maybe, I'm not kidding you, if I'm lying, he'll see this, he'll know. I wouldn't lie on my man like this. He wrote down, no lie, Hannah, my man wrote down, let me see, I think it was probably 4 or 5 things on his paper. He said, what do you do in a day? He said, I go to work, I come home, I eat my dinner, I watch some TV, and I go to sleep. 5 things. My whole thing. It's 25 things on a paper. All of them were filled in. I had to do this, that. I'm dealing with the children, I got my business. And when that guy picked the thing up and read it and looked at him, he said, that's why she's angry all the time. She's tired. This is a lot that she's doing. But let me bring it back. So we were, first of all, he couldn't get anything out of my husband. Every time he asked him something, it was, yep, nope, yep. It was like, right. He didn't want to, but I'm sitting there pouring out, and then I was like, you're not going to be able to help us because he's not going to talk to you. He's going to give you yes or no, yes or no. Then, I don't know, I think this on the 3rd time that we were there. I don't know what made me say this. Hannah, we're sitting here and he's talking to us about different things and what we could do and all of it. It sounded like book stuff. And something said, ask him, are you married? Hannah, I looked at him and I was like, yeah, such and such. I said, are you married?
He was not.
He said, no, I'm divorced. And look, my husband did me like this and I couldn't do nothing but grab my purse. And we both just got and walked out because you can't, you couldn't even help yourself, and you're divorced. How you gonna tell? What are you gonna tell me when whatever you're telling me, you couldn't do it for yourself. You're out. You're divorced, and maybe it doesn't make sense, and y'all probably throwing tomatoes and everything and saying, well, he could have helped you because he did go through it and this, that, and the third. I don't know. I wanted somebody that had been with someone and know that you're gonna have the roller coasters and you're gonna, things are gonna happen and this is what you do to hang in there.
Right.
You threw in the towel. What the fuck you telling me?
They were in the trenches and they came out
and
on
you
the other
threw
side.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah. Look, I got deep into it. Okay. How important is representation in mental health care, especially for children of color? This is mental health. Should we answer this? Because we're not mental health people, so we're not going to. Okay. What are some signs parents or caregivers should look for that a child may be struggling with mental or emotional? That they might be struggling. What are these signs? What are the signs?
It could be a myriad of things. It could be withdrawal. They seem to be, depressed. They don't want to spend time with family and friends. Introvert, yeah, they're not talking to you. They spend a lot of time in their bedroom or, isolated from family outside of, coming to eat and then they're right back upstairs or something like that. Also, it could manifest in some health issues, maybe they got a cold and they can't seem to shake it.
Right.
It might not be just the physical thing. It could be something in the household, emotional or mentally that they're dealing with or that the family is dealing with that's affecting their health as well. Children who might be sleepy all the time or things of that nature.
I concur. Everything you just said, standoffish and not talking and withdrawn and actually sometimes not talking at all, just not even talking.
Right.
And you can talk. It's like I don't want to say nothing.
Right.
Just, yeah. Okay. What's your advice for parents who feel unequipped to talk to their child about emotional trauma?
Seek help, seek assistance, reach out to people in your community. If you have family members who are well versed in that area, your church family, school counselors are a good bridge. Again, myself, if parents and students need help, I'm a bridge to the mental health resources in the community. I can tell them who they can go to and do referrals for them, and then it's pretty much up to them to follow through. And
when they open up, to tell the truth and tell them, because you cannot help a person if they are they're helping what you tell them. You know what I mean? You got to tell them the truth. Right.
And even still, like in being that bridge to the mental health therapist, I don't necessarily get the information. I don't find out what's going on. My part is done by making sure that they have a contact that they can go to.
The right resource. Okay. Yes.
And just to piggyback off what you guys saying, as a parent, I feel like you should just try to relate to the person. The more you relate to the person, the easier it is for them to open up to you. So even if you hate video games, you hate watching them play them, you don't like them doing it all the time, if that's what they do in their little depression mode where they go and sit in their room, ask them, can you play with them? You know what I mean? And as you're playing, then question them.
That is $1 billion answer.
That's good.
Because I'm that person that will hit you over the head. It's like, why you doing this? And why you don't want to be with everybody? And why you?
But that's good too. You definitely don't leave them alone. You keep bugging them.
Okay.
Keep bugging. Because even if they don't open up, they know that you care.
True.
Okay. Because I'm that person, and I'm like, dang, I'm making it worse, but I need to know, and I'm a nurturer, I'm a mother, and I want to know, I want to help, and tell me, but it's like, get out of here, be quiet. I don't want to tell you. When I'm ready to tell you, I'll tell you.
Even just saying, like, if you don't want to talk right now, I'm here whenever you're ready.
Yes.
If you feel more comfortable writing mom a letter, that works too. But just make sure, like, you do have somebody, right? Do you have a go-to person? Do you talk to your friends about stuff? Even though, friends can't, direct you here or there, or, be resources for children. But talking to somebody is better than talking to nobody.
And that is so true. But you know what, Hannah? I don't have a go-to person anymore. I used to have, I won't even put the title as a friend. I won't, because no. But I used to have someone to talk to, but they're no longer there. And I have my husband, but husbands, they girl, just stay married now, okay? just or when you're with someone for a long time, they hear you, but they don't hear you. You need someone that is outside, like a counselor or whatever. And I don't feel that I have that. I have my kids, but like you said, it needs to be.
But even as a mom, you don't want to share everything with your children either.
Right, like they don't want to share
them to know, like, you're stressed or you're dealing with stuff.
I really don't care.
But,
I will.
Okay.
I will share every single thing.
Okay.
Everything.
But
Hannah,
you know what? I'm not that type. Like,
I am.
And I don't know how you feel about, like, horoscopes, whatever, but, like, I'm a Virgo. I'm proud to be a Virgo. And, like,
you're my daughter. Oh my gosh.
I'm very, like, I'm going to figure this out. And just let me be.
That is definitely her.
Out. Once I come through, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to tell you what's going on, but I got to figure this out first. I got to get to my solution. I have to do the thing that I need to do to come through. And then we can talk.
All you Virgos out there probably are the same. My daughter's a Virgo, and that is just her.
I just got to do it.
Give me a minute. Let me process it myself.
Let me figure out, is it A, B, or C? Which one is going to work for me? Like,
but what if you don't figure out the A, B, or C?
I'm gonna figure it out.
But if you don't, would you go get some help? Would you ask someone?
If I could not figure something out, there are a few people on this earth that I will go and
Outside of your mom and your children?
No.
I was gonna say, okay.
Because I was about to say, okay, my mother,
Yes.
my children.
I wish my mother was still here.
Yeah.
It was my mom and my dad.
Yeah. My mother, my children, my significant other, but even still, and I have like two very close best friends. One of them we've been best friends since 3rd grade, and the other one since 9th grade. So they're more like sisters to me. But they're not here in Georgia. They're in Philly where I grew up. So, but they're only a phone call away.
Right.
Or a plane ride away.
Right.
But or just to hey, this is what I'm going through, but I'm gonna be alright. I'm gonna figure it out. But just to let people know, like, if I'm being distant, she probably dealing with something, but don't take it personal.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. Well, I wish that there was someone, well, I do. I have my kids and I have my husband.
Right.
And I will talk to them, but they look at me as mom and wife, and I don't know. I'm the one with the answers. I'm the one that will feed and give it to them, but I don't think that sometimes they do though. I don't want to take that away. Sometimes they do, and they're really good. And my children, they are older, they're adults, and certain things that they say make me go, oh my gosh, I'm learning from them.
Yeah.
It's just something. Yeah. So I do have some, but they're my family. It's nobody really outside.
Okay.
I have you, Hannah.
Yes, we do have each other. And we don't talk all the time, but when we talk,
we do. Oh my gosh.
We talk. And
yes.
It's good.
Yes, no matter, we'll pick right up like it was yesterday.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so how do you personally handle emotional fatigue or protect your own mental health in this world today? How do you just protect yourself?
Yeah. I was just asked this question last weekend. It was phrased a different way, but my answer was kind of like, well, what does that look like? What is rest, or what is?
That's sad, Hannah. But I get it.
Like, as a mom, I feel like that's my most important role in the world. So like, I'm always on. Like, my mind is always on. Like,
it doesn't even rest when you go to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes you up at night just thinking about stuff. But I can say that when I pray, I feel a lot better. No matter what I'm dealing with,
Absolutely.
I pray, I feel a lot better. But now that my children are adults and I'm learning to adjust to life without everybody needing me at every single moment, I'm learning what that looks like.
To relax?
Yeah, I'm learning.
Okay.
I started taking walks. I was thinking about, okay, well, all right. So
that's always been good
I'm
for
50
me.
now. I guess I'm supposed to start exercising. But it just started at just taking walks. I am.
I didn't know. I'm not gonna say what I said.
But it's just some me time, listening to some music and just lighting a candle and getting lost in my thoughts. That helps me. But being around my kids and my grandchildren, that's my rest.
Whole nother,
because they just bring so much joy, to my
and you
world.
would be lost without them, because it's like, what do I do now?
And just
that's my life.
Them makes me forget about anything.
Oh yeah,
the world.
Yes. That's how I am.
I try to leave work at work. Even though some things come home on my mind, but just a little woosah moment. Woosah. And my children are showing me how to take care of me outside of them.
Because they're older now, and they're like, mama, you're not gonna wear all of this.
No, I get, spa certificates and, hey mom, here, go to dinner, take yourself out, so things of that nature, like things that I may not have, I didn't have time to do, when I was raising my children. So.
And you raised them, oh my gosh, every one of them are successful. And I always told you that. I know that's
my lessons in life.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, what's one myth you wish you could erase about mental health in the Black community? A myth.
That it doesn't work.
or that they're all lazy, or that nobody is there for their children.
Mhm.
Those are all myths. There are some
Yeah.
that are there.
Right.
There might be few far in between, but
Yeah, and it. I'm not going to say it works for everybody,
right.
but it does help some people. It
Mhm.
does help.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
gotta, give it a chance and see what works for you, though. I guess it's one of those don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it until you try it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a good one. This is a really good one. I want all of us to see if we know this one. Because I read it, but I'm still like, okay, what does healing looks like for you personally, or in the community? What does healing look like?
I think healing is an everyday journey. I don't think you get to a point and
And you're you're completely healed? No?
because I think things can trigger stuff. Something can happen. A person can say something. You can hear a song or be in a certain place that triggers a memory, and how you deal with it is one thing. But
That's the thing. How you deal with it is where the healing, where you can see that's healing. Because
if you've handled it differently than you would have,
yeah,
some years
that's what I was
ago.
trying to say.
Okay.
Because at first, if you hear something and you're like, oh my gosh, that just broke you down and it took you to the left, it's like,
Right.
I don't even want to move right now because this song that reminds me of this guy But the healing, okay, what does healing looks like? It looks like when you heard the song then, you were apart, you fell apart.
Right.
When you hear the song now,
You laugh.
yeah, it's like, how did I even feel that way?
Yeah.
And the song is stupid anyway. I'm just playing. You know, So that's when we know that it's healing.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But I guess what I was saying was like, you never forget.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't go away, but how you handle it.
How you handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably the same.
What you think?
Could you ask the question?
I sure can. What does healing looks like for you personally or in the community? What does it looks like?
I feel like bettering yourself, because the only way you're going to be able to feel better is to make yourself feel like you're doing what you should or want to for you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Healing is being better.
So I feel like them just getting out there doing what they wanted to in life it's like the sight of seeing someone healing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And not saying doing better as in just making more money, but doing better in whatever aspect of life they want to do better in. You know what I mean?
That's a good answer.
It is. It is. Hannah, I thank you so much for coming on my show. I appreciate you. You know, I care with all kinds of love. We go back so far. And
You're my baby.
yes, I want you guys to know that counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, please, we're going to have some information at the end of the show where you can go and get some help. Please talk to someone. Guys, don't hold it in. Don't have that silent scream. You know, let that scream have a volume or a voice to it, because nobody can help you if you do not say something.
That's true.
You know, go to someone. And for you parents, please let your, I know, because I'm old school and my mother, like you said, what we talk about in our house stays in our house. Now, this is a different era, parents. Yes, what you talk about in your house should stay in your house, but you need to add on the end of that. However, if there is something going on with you personally and you really need some help and you don't think I can help you, go to your counselor. Encourage them to go to their school counselor. You know, because if you tell them whatever happens at home stays at home, I don't care what's going on with you, you can only talk to me. You don't limit your children like that, because then they're stuck. And then that's that generational curse where they're stuck. They feel like they can't. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
So please let your children go and get some help so we can make this this world a better place, you know, for everyone. So with that said, guys, feel the rumble and listen to the roar, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.